This is a quick review of the BSA 30mm Huntsman Red Dot sight, and I happen to have it mounted here to a Daisy Grizzly. It's a BB gun that the kids and I shoot in the backyard. And with the sight, it comes with this rubber bikini cover that goes on the front and the back. So it mounts like this, and you can take it off pretty easily. I purchased this from Cheaper Than Dirt. I went along with another order that I had going through there, and I wanted to try out a red dot sight for offhand shooting with my .22 rifle. And it just turned out that I was spending more time at an outdoor range bench rested, and this red dot scope worked really good for this Grizzly because although the Grizzly came with an optical 4X scope, I think the red dot is, in my opinion, the way to go with a BB gun like this, because it's really easy and quick to find your target, and anything with a zoom is really going to be more too much for the accuracy of this rifle. This rifle's pretty much accurate to a couple inches or so at about 10, 15, 20 yards at best. So the red dot finder, I think, is really a good thing for a BB gun like this. Sort of to compare and contrast, here's a cheap red dot scope I had for I don't know how many number of years, and the big difference between the cheap stuff like this that you find maybe at a Walmart or something like that is the mounting. This is an all metal tube and a metal mounting, whereas this cheap stuff here, it's a plastic mount, and the whole thing is plastic except for like the bolts and stuff like that as far as the mounting goes. So once you mount something cheap like this onto an air gun or a rifle or something like that, you know, any slight movement's going to knock off the zero, and the zero for this has held really well. Throwing it around and stuff in the storage room, setting it down, it's held really well. The battery is actually inside this top dial, and you can see on the dial here it's got different settings. For the red is a red dot, 3 is a highest intensity, and then it's got a blue dot and a green dot. Let me try to see if I can get you to view what the dots look like. So here's a view of what you'd be seeing to sight it, to look through the sights, and you can see the red dot in there. The way that you want to use this is you want to try to get that dot into the center of your view, okay? And you're going to want to keep moving your eye until you get it into the center. Once you get into the center, then you move the rifle. So it's kind of hard for me to see what I'm looking at through the camera finder. But here's the red. Here's the red, and it's got different intensities. And let me go over, and here's the green. And that's full intensity, and that's off. And then here is the blue over there. Okay, so there's the blue. It's into the center there, and then off. So every different color has an off setting right next to it. So I can just leave it off and then flip it over there to the red, and then I could change the intensity. I'll go back to off. It uses the ever popular CR2032 battery. You see these all over the place. And at the very top, there's access to get to the battery right there. So that's the same, it's just the very top of the dial for the on-off. And over here you have the elevation and the windage. Windage is just a term for left and right. Okay, elevation. And to adjust the elevation, these are actually screw-off caps. Okay, and as you can see here, it's marked so that it says counter. It's hard to see it on the camera, but basically counterclockwise is up, so that moves your group. It moves the point of impact of the BB or the bullet that moves it up. So if you turn it counterclockwise, that's going to make your grouping go up. And here on the side, let me get some better light, it shows that clockwise is left. Okay, so if you move that dial clockwise, then that means that if you're hitting right and you want the impact to be to the left, then you're going to follow the arrow for left, which is to go clockwise. And again, for the elevation, it says up is counterclockwise. That's pretty common. So you're loosening that to make it go up. Okay, so if your impact is low and you need it to go higher, then you're going to turn this counterclockwise to make it go up. I found that from the standard setting for both a .22 rifle and for the Grizzly BB gun, I didn't have to change my elevation or windage all that much. It lined up pretty straight. So this really was designed for a low velocity projectile because it sits so high. It's almost like 2 inches, more like an inch and a half above the barrel, that in order for the point of impact to come up to this level of the scope, it has to have an angle to it, and that's already built into the scope. So I had to move that very little. So if you're sighting this for the first time, you probably want to start off pretty close so that you know that your projectile is coming close to your target and you're not missing it. Another nice thing that I like about the Red Dot versus a traditional iron sight or even a scope is that I can keep both of my eyes open with this. I can look through the scope with my right eye, and I can have my left eye open, and as long as I'm trying to center up that dot into the field of view in there, then your right eye shows that dot in your field of view, and you can keep your left eye open. It's not like your right and left eye are trying to focus on two different things and two different magnifications. So I find it pretty comfortable, especially with this BB gun, to have both eyes open, and I have a very good field of view of what's going on. So that concludes my review of this BSA 30mm Huntsman Red Dot. I think it was a good purchase for me. I got this from Cheaper Than Dirt for about 25 bucks as part of another order. Add some shipping to that if you're just buying it by itself, or if you need to get some other goodies. It was worth a try just to try out the Red Dot scope. Like I said, I used it for offhand shooting on a .22, and right now its home is with this BB gun.